Shabbat Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Welcome to the broadcast. I am the preacher. Shout out to all the Hebrews in the house. It's been a pretty exciting little week for us. I take it, I guess, because a lot of y'all watched the Super Hebrew Bowl. I commend that brother for what he did, because y'all didn't hear him calling on his ox, saying he's Yahushua's new weapon twice, and calling on Yahushua. And it was an alarm was sounded that welcome to the end of the Gentile rule in the midst of everything that's going on. As a matter of fact, it's 12 p.m. Central Time. Are we at war yet? People talking about the lawless one is sitting up here trying to start wars, take lands and countries, and they're fulfilling Bible prophecy right in front of our face. Shout out to a young lady I discovered last night, Jasmina Horn, who's out there doing her thing and keeping it Hebrew and dressing modest and wearing her fringes while doing her modern day jazz. And you know what, and had her head wrapped up. But what I'm saying, I'm shouting out to her, is because what y'all doing is what we should be doing. Just keep putting in work, because we don't really have to do nothing, because the Most High is about to handle this business. All we have to do is keep doing what he's gifted us to do, the talent he's given us, and shine. Just go ahead and shine, because he has not appointed us unto wrath. This is not for us. And if there's fear that you have, it's because you're living in sin and you're not keeping the commandments. 1 John 2, 3, and 4. We hereby do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. If you say you love him and keep not his commandments, you are a liar and the truth is not in you. Being in the truth is about keeping these commandments, keeping these laws based on Exodus 20 and 6, as you can see on the screen. If you could just get these 10 commandments down, and you can work on these other ones. But we really don't have a whole lot of time for you to achieve perfection. But Israel shall be saved. We'll go up under the rod. We're looking at the consummation of times. So we're getting ready to go into a major paradigm shift. There will be violence all around you. Don't forget Psalms 91 said 1,000 will fall at your left and 10,000 at your right. There will be pestilence. There are unseen forces that we're fighting against. It is like 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter said, we're fighting realm against realm. We're fighting other dimensional frequencies and demons and spirits. But we know that no weapon formed against us can prosper. But you've got to be in these commandments in this book. That way you won't have to fear. You have to be keeping the Moedims, the Shabbats. You have to be walking upright. You can't be halfway doing this thing, riding the rails, and think it's going to be all good. It's not going to be all good. It's only going to be a remnant of the other nations that make it in, because many of them are espoused to religion and Christianity, and they worship Jesus as God, a Eurocentric image and depiction. But that's not what we're going to get into today. We're going to get into some of the prophet Zephaniah. You don't hear too much about Zephaniah, but he's one that should be looked at right now, because he speaks a lot about the day of Yahuwah. You know this as the day of the Lord, which is his soon return. And this world is working so hard to keep you from realizing how close it is and how prophecy is being fulfilled. They got you in denial about the fact that the lawless one and the false prophet are at work right now. Remember that the lawless one gives his power to the second beast, who's the false prophet. If that's the case, he stands back and lets him do whatever he wants to do. And you're seeing a depiction of this right now. Because the second beast's son told the first one, go away and shut your mouth. You're not the president. And it's all over. I don't talk too much about modern day things, but Folks, I got to just keep it real with you where we are and what time it is, and nobody wants to believe it. You want to continue to put off this day of doom and our salvation, which draweth nigh. It's right in front of your face. We're not going backwards. Nothing's going to be made great. That means you're looking at him as a savior and you want him to make America great, hoping you'll get another check. You're still looking for some reparations from this government. It's not going to happen. Your government is some of the biggest dope dealers in the world. They keep it going because it increases the economy on the down low, because they know that people are addicted because they're demonically filled. People are addicted to all sorts of drugs. And I won't call one of the more popular ones on TV, but it comes from souls, human souls, because they thought that was the first fountain of youth. Now they really believe they have found the fountain of youth by going into other dimensions and uploading people's consciousness, which is why you hear that talk a lot. All of the Satanists, Church of Satan, Aleister Crowley, Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, they all talked about this year right here, some 30 years ago. And they've trumped up the Christian church, the Caucasian Christian church, to promote this new age theology so that you'd have interdenominational religions, and everyone coming together, which is satanic and not the way of the Most High. Nonetheless, I'm going to go to Zephaniah today. A key element of Zephaniah's teaching is the concept of a remnant that will be protected in the day of the Lord, the day of Yahuwah. Now, it's interesting to note that the meaning of Zephaniah's name is Yahuwah hides. It's closely associated with this aspect of his prophecy. So it was a remote prophecy, because Yahuwah is going to hide a remnant of his people that will be protected and will go through the fire and come out as pure gold. Just like the song says, Shaka Khan through the fire, just like the Hebrew boys through the fire, there's a remnant of us that will come through. And that is those that remain steadfast and keep the laws and commandments. I know you pray every day that you're found worthy to make it through. But your part that you have to do after that is to be faithful, obedient, keep these laws, and be charitable to your brothers and sisters, and fear not. That's your part in this whole thing. The phrase, the day of Yahuwah, is one of the primary expressions in the so-called Old Testament. Ain't nothing old about it. And it's relevant to eschatological events. So it goes into different times of eschatology. That's why this book is very potent, and I'm going to go through this book. I'll probably give some precepts through it, but I'm just going to read through it. There's only 3 chapters in this book, and hopefully we can get through it. If we can't get through it, we'll see. If the Most High willing, we'll do it next week. I primarily want to focus on chapter 2, but I'm going to start at chapter 1. Chapter 2, you're going to see what you've been hearing about people taking lands, Micah 2:2, possessing and taking lands from people and displacing them, and genocide that's going on. You're going to see how Zephaniah spoke about that so that you will better understand. But let's start at chapter 1. The word of Yahuwah, which came to Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith Yahuwah. I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of the heaven and the fishes of the sea and the stumbling blocks with the wicked. I will cut off man from off the land, saith Yahuwah. I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal, from this place, in the name of the Chemarims with the priests, and them that worship the host of heaven upon the housetops, and them that worship and that swear by Yahuwah and that swear by Malcolm. So he's talking about people that were into idolatry, worshiping fallen angels, and from the rooftops. When he mentions that, people that worship Baal, he's in reference to people that go into these temples and try to go up to these high mountains and these churches with steeples, and the way these grandiose churches are built and these false religions, they have these grandiose buildings and they worship these fallen angels. Verse 6, and them that are turned back from Yahuwah and those that have not sought Yahuwah nor inquired for him, hold thy peace at the presence of Yahuwah. Elohim, for the day of the Lord, I like to say it because I know it triggers something in you. The day of Yahuwah is at hand, for Yahuwah hath prepared sacrifice. He hath bid his guests, and it shall come to pass in the day of Yahuwah's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children, and all such are clothed with strange apparel. In the same day also will I punish all those that leap on the threshold, which fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuwah, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Howl, ye inhabitants of Mektesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off. All the riches are destroyed. All those that exchange goods, buy, trade, sell, all of that's going to be destroyed. We read this in the books of other prophets, and we see this in the book of Revelations, that when Babylon is destroyed, all the merchants will wail and cry because they no longer can export, import, do business with the whore of Babylon, which is about to be destroyed. You should not let these politicians make you believe that they have your best interests in mind. They're propping this place up for destruction because they know it's coming. And they understand and believe this Bible prophecy more than you do, because that's why they went ahead and promoted dual citizenship. They are in your face telling you that they're going to take over the shores of Gaza and build lands and malls and shops there. And then not telling you what the plans are for your particular place. They're propping you up to believe there is a paradise that's coming for this place, when Revelations lets us know this place is about to be destroyed. Verse 12, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, Yahuwah will not do good, neither will he do evil. Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And I look at all the construction that's going on, the greed of amassing land. And none of this stuff is going to continue, people. It's not going to continue. Do not be deceived. As we just read, you buying gold, buying silver means nothing. All of this and their riches, their Bitcoins, their Doge coins, their crypto coins, all this stuff is going to be destroyed, plundered away. Why? Verse 14, the great day of Yahuwah is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of Yahuwah. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly. This is why I said last week, you see these people scurrying and hurrying up with their executive orders and trying to move so quickly, because they even have a clock in them that is sensing that time is running out, because the demons inside of these people have always known that they have a particular time, which is why they told our Messiah, have you come to torment us before our time? There is a ticking time bomb in them, and they're moving fast to execute all of these plans. And if you can't see the hurriedness in which people are moving, and I do mean Esau and this world, how upset they were to see a bunch of Black people come together on stage like that. Now they want back diversity, equity, and inclusion. They were like, where's the equity? Where's the inclusion? How come there wasn't multiple races up there? There's worry and fear because people know there's a price to be paid for what you've done over the years to a group of people and how you treated them and still hate them in your heart. There's only a few people from other nations that are willing to cleave to Yasharal. I mean, cleave, not take the lead, not tell us what to do. That day is over. But cleave and say, take us with you. Isaiah, the 60th chapter. And how Zechariah spoke of how they would grab our fringes and want to go into that place of hiding because of the destruction, mayhem, and terror that's coming upon the daughter of Babylon. Because you have to understand, America has done some treacherous things to other nations and countries and has really impacted and affected nations and countries all over this world, which is why people abhor America for its hedonism and the sinfulness that it's taught the world, its debauchery that it's taught women throughout the world. Because all the other countries used to be very modest in apparel, approach, you name it. Iraq, Iran, the Arab countries, the Asian countries, they weren't running around in booty shorts and halter tops and pumps and painted faces and lips on a daily basis. What came out of this country? OnlyFans, where a woman can just parade herself naked and be paid millions of dollars from men in their closets all over the world. This is debauchery we're living in, and we're becoming comfortable with it and turning our cheeks and turning a blind eye to it, acting like it's nothing, when this is really hideous. Some teenager somewhere has hacked into the OnlyFans account and is sitting up watching naked women parade themselves. And they're getting into lustful lasciviousness and masturbation and fornication and picking up demonic spirits at the same time. And there's a horde of demon spirits around here possessing our kids, our children, sexualizing kids that are not even in their teens. You see this Jay-Z and Beyonce with a 12-year-old child dressed like a 22-year-old woman with her breasts out. And we shouldn't even be seeing that in her at 12 years old. This world is crazy. And then the things that are going on with the pedophiles. This is ridiculous. I probably should have said that. But nevertheless, let's go back to this verse 15. That day is a day of wrath. That's why it's going to be this bad. It's going to be a day of trouble, a day of distress, and a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness, gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet. That's when we go into the final 3 Moedims, Feast of Trumpets. That's the trumpet blowing on the day of the Lord. It's the summoning. And then we read last week where also we go right into, I forget which chapter we were in last week, which book, but we go right into the Day of Atonement after trumpet, because we will mourn when we see our Messiah come and put his feet on Mount Zion and come for his people. We'll be happy, but we will weep for how he was treated and what he went through. I think to me, I feel there will be mixed emotions of joy, denial, unbelief, and to see the beauty of our Savior and our salvation. So 16 lets you know that this day of Yahuwah is a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. Verse 17, he says, and I'm going to bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men because they have sinned against Yahuwah. Man's whole concept and theory is to believe that Give me 1 second. Okay. You can say something to her if you want to. Say it's beautiful. Okay. A day of the trumpet alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. Let me go back to 17. Zephaniah 1 and 17. And I will bring distress upon men that they shall walk like blind men because they have sinned against Yahuwah, and their blood shall be poured out as dust and their flesh as the dung. It's not going to be a pretty sight, people. It says the blood will flow up to the horse's bridle. Imagine how high that is. Man wants to live in sin and think he can still have eternal life through technocracy and technology. But man does not want to be obedient. We, as believers that are in this truth, have to be sinless, without spot or wrinkle, because this world is full of sinning. Sin, 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 sin. Sinny, sin, sin. That's all they want to do, is be in sin. And this is the price they're going to pay. And listen, let's make it clear. All of you that have invested, talking about you storing up because you've been following the preppers and not the Most High or His commandments. Verse 18 says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahuwah's wrath. It's not going to do you no good. But the whole land, not just America, people. Babylon will go down first. See, if you understand Revelations, Babylon will be destroyed. We will be hidden. We will be in a wilderness. When this trumpet is blown, where everyone has fled to is going to be destroyed. It's the whole world, not just this place. So let's be clear. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in that day of Yahuwah's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. A speedy riddance. A speedy riddance. I read in the pseudepigrapha, I forget which book. It may have been, I can't recall right now. But there was a prophecy that this day would last about a whole week, because there's the purging, there's the cleaning up, there's the blood flow, the distress to destroy the whole earth. The Most High can do anything. He can do it in 1 hour. He could do it in 1 day. But let's carry on. Last week, we talked about Jerusalem becoming a cup of trembling. And we see what's happening over there in the land, and people saying that they're going to take over the land. Well, let's get into that. Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter. Now, I'm reading these prophecies, and I want you, Yasharal, to be encouraged so that you see and know what's going on and what's coming, and you don't have to fret. Because you're getting caught up in the news every day, because all I hear people say is, oh, there's so much going on. There's a lot happening. It's a lot happening, when you need to be working on yourself, making sure you are found in the number. You know, when you have an inspection coming, there are points of the inspection that you go and work on and prepare, whether it be a car inspection, home inspection, whatever it is. You make sure that you know what they're coming to inspect, and you repair it and prepare it for the inspection so that it will pass inspection. It's really not that hard. You know what this inspection requires for you to do. Let's read Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. This is an inspection point. We're getting ready to prepare to come together. And I'm starting to see a sense of unity and solidarity amongst the people. And it's happening organically. It wasn't supposed to happen behind a leader, a particular man. They destroy them. Ever since COINTELPRO and the FBI said, let's make sure not another Messiah rises amongst them, because they knew that a Messiah had risen amongst us. I tell you, these people have been knowing who we are more than we know or believe for a long time. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Before the decree, bring forth before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahuwah come upon you. Before the day of Yahuwah's anger come upon you. Listen to the inspection point. Seek Yahuwah, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Inspection point. Seek righteousness. Seek to be good. Seek to be right. Seek to do right. Don't seek to do evil, to gossip, to be in malice, to talk about other people, to find fault, to have your mouth and your lips and your words on other people. No, you're supposed to be seeking Yahuwah, being meek, seeking righteousness, because it says this, it may be ye shall be hid in the day of his anger. I need you to focus all week, all month on Zephaniah 2 and 3. This is instructions. We're gathering together and doing the things of the third verse so that we perhaps will be hid with everything that's coming, because World War III is coming. Armageddon is coming. Destruction is coming. A power struggle is happening right now. As I said, the U.S. just threatened Russia with war, all hell breaking loose. Russia is dealing with the vice president's over there talking to Russia saying, stop this Ukraine stuff now. The lawless one is telling Ukraine, we want all that money back that Biden gave you. And the lawless one is telling Hamas to let all of the hostages go. But at the same time, he's saying we know half of them are dead, so they can't do that. So the hands of the clock are ticking towards war. And we're not surprised because it's prophesied in the book. So what are we doing? The beauty of Yasharal coming together on that stage was a picture of unification and how powerful it could be. And we're being commanded from a prophet thousands of years ago that saw this and saying that we need to gather ourselves together. O nation that's not desired by any other nation. Who else is that? The people of Deuteronomy 28, the entire chapter. Let's go over those points one more time. I just have to do it. Seek Yahuwah. When you get up in the morning, fall to your knees. Seek righteousness. Seek to do good. Seek to be good. Seek to be wholesome. Stay away from sin. Seek meekness. Be humble. I think somebody wrote a song called Be Humble. It may be that ye shall be hid in the day of Yahuwah's anger. And this is the meaning of Zephaniah's name, the hidden one. If you want to be hid. Now I'm about to blow your mind. Verse 4. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation, and they shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. It's more than powerful, it's just crazy. Zephaniah saw everything that's going on right now, and you don't want to believe in this book, these prophets, and what they tell you and what they saw. So we are this thing about Gaza is all we hear every day. And This lawless one has the mitigated goal to go over there and do what Micah 2:2 says that he would do. Just take it. He said, I'm not buying nothing. We're taking it. So now that tells me they were in on this whole war that Netanyahu started. They put him up to it because they wanted that land. Mm-hmm. And this land is a land that many people want. And the thing about it is that that land belongs to none of those people. And they know that that land is promised to the children of Yasharah. So they figure, like, with arrogancy, they're going to go ahead and take it from the Most High, which is why you're about to see all of these things get ready to happen on the day of Yahuwah, because they have parted his land. So the thing about it is, let me see if I can find this. I'm going to read Micah 2:2 for you. I'm excited about reading this, and I'm trying to slow down because this is just jumping off the pages right here. Let me read this to you. DNA shows Philistines are the modern day Palestinians who were really European. A dramatic and explosive DNA discovery in Israel has implications for the political struggle between Israelis and Palestinians. 3 years ago, archaeologists digging in Israel revealed they had excavated a Philistine cemetery for the first time ever. Now, an extensive report on the DNA taken from the bones they uncovered has confirmed the origins of the Philistines, one of the arch enemies of the biblical Israelites. We've been able to demonstrate for the first time that the Philistines were immigrants to the region of Philistia, said Daniel Masters, director of the Leon Levy expedition to Ashkelon. Ashkelon and Ashdod and Ekron are towns over there in Israel. And modern day, there's modern day names for it, but it was tucked away in that place. This whole place is a place of contention. That's why you're seeing it on the news every day. But what we're seeing is that Palestinians didn't belong there either. So I understand people don't like to see genocide and murder and people being hurt, but they must be evacuated from that land. So a portion of the people have been evacuated. Now they think they're going to give it to Esau. Esau thinks he's going to take it over and that this will be the capital for technocracy. It's not going to happen. So we're right on the brink of devastation of a place that people are trying to take over that's not theirs. And it's a beautiful place, which is why they lust after it, why they want it. It sits on a shore. This man, the lawless one, has been going around the world for years, building luxury resorts, golf courses, lands, malls, homes. This is what these people lust after. They like to build up and prop themselves up with arrogancy, saying, this is mine, and look what I did. Scientists have long suspected that modern-day Palestinians are not Arab, but actually descendants of European and mainly pre-Greek settlers in that region. State-of-the-art DNA testing on the ancient Philistine bones show they had European ancestry, migrated across the Mediterranean more than 3,000 years ago, and just before the Israelites were given the land by God in the 13th and 12th century, empires collapsed. Much of civilization collapsed when people woke up 100 years later. The world was very different. One of the groups that people noticed 100 years later were the Philistines, Master said. That's all I'm going to read from that article. That your Palestinians are your modern day Philistines, which aren't from that region. They don't belong there either. And we also know that the Ashkenaz, where they come from, that area of Ukraine, Khazaria, is where they come from. And all these people want to migrate to a land that was left by Yasharah in 70 AD as they were chased by the Romans into parts of Portugal, Spain, and West Africa, and down to Southern Africa before they were picked up and taken away as slaves. You foundational Black Americans, y'all need to get your history straight and stop trying to confuse our people, because we're supposed to gather ourselves together. I've told you time and time again, 7 20 BC, around that era, there was a portion of the northern kingdom that migrated over to the South Americas, the Americas, Canada, Australia, and settled and got there thousands of years before Columbus. I told you the Southern Kingdom was left over here and migrated throughout Africa before they were rounded up in slavery during the 1400s. You've got to know your history and stop splitting our people down the middle. People saying that Northern and Southern Kingdom stayed in Africa. That's not true. It's not what 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter says. It tells you. And if you read your history and do some research, you'll see that 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter happened somewhere in the 700s of BC. And that our kingdom of Yasharal was split. We were migrating and running for our lives basically because we broke the laws and commandments, as Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter told us. This book is a history book. And they have studied it more than you. Let's finish reading about Gaza. Zephaniah 2 and 4, for Gaza shall be forsaken. Let's get that straight. And Ashkelon will be a desolation, and they shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the seacoast. What have you heard the lawless one talking about and his son-in-law? We want that beautiful coastal land. It sits on water. It's a beautiful area. You should see it. And don't worry, we're going to take these other people and put them in another land. We'll give them some apartments to live in. They'll be all right. But that beautiful land, we're going to take it and build beautiful homes and malls. And do you hear that this is all in the Bible? They're just acting out almost like a script, but it's scripted by the Most High. It's being fulfilled right in front of your face. Gaza's a beautiful land that's on the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of Yahuwah is against you. He's telling you now, you go over there and try to do all that. O Canaan, the land of the Philistines, I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. Go on over there. Because we need to wipe it out, the clean, and it's going to happen when you go over there to build it up, because you've torn it down. You've torn it down so that you think you might build it up, as the Bible prophesied that in Obadiah, that you would do so. And let me read Micah, the book of Micah 2 and 2. It says, and they covet fields, and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And this is what you see they're doing, trying to expand their lands and take things from people to try to expand and take another person's heritage. But this land, you're about to upset my father. He's watching you do what you do, you lawless people. And this is what you have coming your way. Verse 5, he says, I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. Verse 6, and the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. That place has already been promised to another people, and that's Yasharal. And the cast shall be, oh my goodness. Listen to verse 7, chapter 2. I've read this many a times, but to see the reality of how we're seeing it play out and read it again, it's mind-boggling. Verse 7 says, and the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. That place that man wants, that's for the remnant of Judah. And that's one tribe. Gaza's for the former slaves that are about to be set free. if they comply with verse 1, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. And verse 3, seek righteousness, meekness, and I'll probably hide you. I'll probably Zephaniah you in the day of my wrath. If you do good, come together. And while you're doing that, I'm about to clear out this property for you, for flocks and shepherds. It says it right here. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. What coast? Verse 4, for Gaza shall be forsaken. Gaza is what's for Judah.
I'm just speechless.
They shall feed thereupon in the houses of Ashkelon. Shall they lay down in the evening? For the Most High Yah shall visit them and turn away their captivity. That's when we'll be set free as we're placed inside that land. So go ahead. Go ahead, keep doing everything you're doing right now. It's past 12. It's probably a war going on. You didn't already cleared half the land out. Now you think you're about to do something with it. You're about to see what's about to happen. You're preparing it for the people that you saw a picture of Sunday on TV that almost 200 million people saw and was looking at. And they were like blown away, like that is blackety black, blacked up, black. This is so laid out. Verse 4, Gaza. Verse 6, the seacoast shall be dwellings and cottages. Verse 7, for who? For Judah. Who's Judah? Southern kingdom. Who's Judah? Those that went into slavery and connected back with the northern tribe and was blended in slavery. Foundational Black Americans. So you understand what the truth is. And then after he says he's going to turn away captivity, he's got some other business he's going to take care of. Verse 8, he said, I have heard the reproach of Moab, China, Taiwan, and the revelings of the children of Ammon, Japan, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. This is the threats that you hear coming from China and Taiwan and what they're doing in Africa. Because our people are scattered throughout Africa still as well. And they're trying to be the first with the BRICS nations to go over there and lay cement and take over because they want to plunder all the resources. Well, we got news for you. Verse 8, I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revelings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, said the Most High Yah, the Elohim of Yasharel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah. Destruction, terror. Fire is going to rain down on you. Even the breeding of nettles and salt pits in a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. There's going to be an uprising, and it's going to be televised. Trying to plunder the people. They're scurrying to take what belongs to the people. See, so don't just think we're going to be in that one pocket of land. This is making it clear that throughout Africa's where if you count from 70 AD to 2025, that's thousands of years that we spent time in Africa after being driven out of the land. And now we're saying that that land will be mostly for the tribe of Judah. And there'll be other regions throughout, other portions throughout that we will occupy. The majority of the other lands are going to be destroyed by fire. Let's see, verse 10. This shall they have for their pride, us, Yasharal. Our self-esteem will be restored. because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Most High of hosts. Yahuwah will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. That's referencing Amos 9 and I believe 11 through 14, where there's a remnant of the other nations that we shall possess that will get to see our triumph and our salvation. Because if nobody's here, what's the purpose? We want some people to see it and understand it and gloat and bow down to the Most High and his chosen. Verse 12. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. Believe it or not, those ain't your people. They have a very extreme pride and arrogance. They're the ones that produce Haile Selassie, false gods, and they worshiped him. They're the ones claiming that they have the Ark of the Covenant, and they're the ones that sometimes are very prideful against the people of the book. Sorry to say, I'm just pointing out truth. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh a desolation and dry like a wilderness, and flocks shall lie down in the midst of her. All the beasts of the nations, both the cormorant and let's see, and the bittern shall lodge in the upper lintels of it. Their voice shall sing in the windows. Desolation shall be in the thresholds, for he shall uncover the cedar work. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there's none beside me. How is she become a desolation? America, a place for beasts to lie down in. Everyone that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his hand. This is also talking about Nineveh is Iraq. So he's going through all the various regions and countries that will be destroyed and given over to his people. Nineveh is that place of Iraq. So we have Iraq, which was connected to Iran at the time as well. All you have to do is type in Assyria, Nineveh, in Google, whatever, and say, what is modern day Nineveh? And you'll see what these places are. You want to know what the cormorant is? It's an animal. These are different type of beasts. So it's an analogy that the prophet is giving of the level of destruction that's going to take place. And this wilderness very well could be what we just read about it being over Gaza, the sea coast that are in that region. But he's very clear, the prophet, that it's going to Yahudi. And so you got to say, well, where's Levi going? Where's Reuben going to be? And all the other brothers, and Joseph, and brothers, so on, et cetera, et cetera. So there'll be different pockets and regions, but the entire land will be destroyed, must be destroyed. So this cup of trembling, known as modern day Israel, everybody's so worried and focused about what's happening right there. They're preparing, the Most High is using them to help prep the land, because there's people, none of those people are supposed to be there. None of them. They just found out that there's trillions of gallons of natural resources hidden in the ground. Most people say that can't be the place because it's not beauty, it doesn't have resources. It's there, it's hidden. It's going to blossom again. It's immediately when the Most High takes it over, it's going to be beautified again. Just told you the cedar trees will blossom up, the cedar work, things that are covered right now that the archaeologists haven't found and discovered are going to be revealed in these different regions. Because right now the earth is mourning for the restoring of the sons of Yasharah, because they know that they come from the ground, that they come from, that they're one. These other people are the seed of the fallen, which is why they worship the fallen. These are not the people chosen. All of creation is mourning, it says in the New Testament, waiting for the return of the sons of Yah, because we walk in harmony with the land. We see when the Gentiles are, it says the Gentiles are trodden down the land. We see what the earth is like when the Gentiles rule or in charge. There's chemtrails, there's poisons, there's toxins. There's manly creations that can't sustain itself. The food is bad, the food is poison. We see what happens. They don't walk in lockstep, in sync with the earth. They want to destroy it, especially before we have it. Let's see. I don't want to go over time. This is a pretty long chapter. I'm going to save it. Chapter 3. It's only 3 books in the book of Zephaniah, but I want just you to see how prolific and how on point this word and these prophecies are. I don't have to sit up here and play like Celestial and be a false prophet. I can just read this. These are the prophets right here. And it's in the mouth of 2 or 3 prophets. It's confirmed, and it's not me making a prediction and getting it wrong. It's right here for the reading. Study your word. Read your book. You don't have to keep watching CNN trying to figure out what they're going to do next. It's already prophesied. They can't go out of the confines of this word. Job, the 1st chapter, shows you that Satan could do nothing until he got permission from the Most High. It's a plan. Even the fact that he let the enemy, Hashatan, present a solution to people to give them a choice to see if they would take the solution or would they trust him. He allowed that fear of that planned thing to come on the earth and watch to see who would trust him or who would trust man and who would be moved out of fear. When the Most High said, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Now, don't get me wrong. He said he could save whomever he wants to save and have mercy on whomever he wants to have mercy. And he can heal the land. But it takes true repentance for that to happen, because he made it clear that there would be a time of deception, and that deception could lead you to what? Matthew 7:21-24. Depart from me. I never knew you, you worker of iniquity, because you keep sinning. You break the commandments. These people are going to stand before the Most High and say, we did miracles, we prophesied, I had a YouTube channel, I had likes, and all these people was getting healed, and they were happy, and they were sending me donations and hitting the like button. I'll be like, I don't know you. Depart from me. I don't know you. So hold fast to Zephaniah 2 and verse 3. Which is saying, seek meekness and righteousness and seek the Most High daily. Don't constantly seek social media to see what the word is on the street. We have to seek the Father so that we'll be in the ark of safety in the boat. How much more plain does it need to be? Zephaniah 2 is talking about Gaza and the sea coast, and that's all you hear in the news. We're getting ready to take it. Thank you very much for destroying those people so we can have it. I'm not paying for nothing. It's mine. What? Go ahead. Because we already read that you're going to be annihilated, and it's going to be given to Judah. Wow. Hallelujah. The only for sure obstacle to truth is to think that you already have it, because truth is a journey, not a destination. May the Most High bless and keep you in these tribulatory times. And I pray that you will endure until the end. Don't give up, because time is up. Hallelujah.